Welcome to Out of the Blue. I'm going to do one for the scholars of Neo-Swedenborgianism, people who actually want to know what I'm actually saying. So I've mentioned in the past what I call the bad news of Neo-Swedenborgianism. And the bad news is that these experiences that people are recounting in the near-death experiences do not appear to be caused by what they believe, but they seem to be caused by their culture. So culture is bigger than your own personal beliefs. And so a lot of times people have these near-death experiences and they say it's not at all what they believed. And so then what? But there are also some similarities. So where does it come from? It comes from culture, and it comes from your language. Your language and your culture are intertwined. So the bad news is you can't get out of it. There's no escape. You know, you're in. Culture is something that you are in. You can't jettison something you are in, right? It's like you're saying, well, just throw it off the ship, and you can't throw it off the ship because it is the ship, right? And so, and the only way for you to get off the ship is to, jump into the ocean of chaos. So that's the bad news of Neo-Swedenborgianism is if you can understand me in English, and if you speak English, then this applies to you. You are in this culture, and this is a sort of OS. It's a sort of operating system, and the operating system has a shutdown protocol. And when it shuts down, these things that you read about in the near-death experiences are likely to happen to you. That's the bad news. Now, I realize that there's some good news in Neo-Swedenborgianism, so that all was review, and now we have something new. The good news of Neo-Swedenborgianism, which is once you realize that the culture is something you are in. For example, whoever is listening to me in English, you are part of Judeo-Christian culture, which you don't have to be Jewish or Christian, but this Western civilization that we're in is a part of Judeo-Christian culture. It is something you are inside of, right? Now, Judeo-Christian culture, in an academic sense, they call people of the book. So, people of the book is what, like I mentioned, religious. What's the word? Comparative religion. In the comparative religion field, they talk about people of the book, and that would mean Jews, Christians, Muslims, and who's the fourth one? Well, I'll get to that in a moment. But in a general sense, currently, people of the book refers to Jews, Christians, and Muslims because they all get back to the Abrahamic. They're all called Abrahamic religions. They all trace themselves back to Abraham. Now here's the interesting bit. I'm going to take this square and I'm going to put it right here. The good news of Neo-Swedenborgianism is this. When you realize the speed that ages usher in. So at what speed do ages usher in? Like if the question is what speed do bicycles ride, you might say between 10 and 40 miles an hour approximately. What speed do motorcycles go? They can go up to like 100 to 200 miles an hour. What speed does a jet plane go? Jet plane goes 400 to 800 miles an hour. What speed do ages usher? What is the speed of the ushering in of a new age? And if you look at it, Jesus lived around the time, let's say, 0 to 30, and Constantine ushered in the Christian age, the Christian era, approximately 300. Okay? That's the Christians. the Muslims, Muhammad lived about 610. The Islamic Golden Age began about 900. Okay, so ages, the speed of an age ushering in is approximately 300 years. Okay? Now, if you look up the Hebrew year 6,000, 6,000 corresponds to the year 2239. So at this age, at this year, an era of peace is to usher in. And if you look 300 years before that, you find this person, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I. Now, there's another person in the people of the book. The people of the book, the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims, and the Rastafari. According to the Rastafari, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I is Jesus returned. So for the Christians, Jesus promises to return, but if you're a Rasta, that promise has been fulfilled. Okay? So people of the book, these are the people of the book, and these people have gotten to the last chapter. So there's this chapter, there's a Messiah prophesied. There's this chapter, the Messiah comes and promises to return. There's this chapter, which I will not encapsulate at this moment. But then there's this chapter where this promise is fulfilled. And all these people are people of the book. We are all people of the book. Meaning everyone who understands me in English. Everyone who can speak and understand English is with me. We are all people of the book. So the good news of Neo-Swedenborgianism is that in a mere 220 years, peace will reign on earth because everyone will realize that we are all essentially Rasta brothers. And you can see this beginning now, because now weed is becoming commonplace and legal. And just a few years ago, it wasn't. And so the good news of Neo-Swedenborgianism is that we are in the midst of the final age ushering in.